Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's.
Tonight on the Channel 2 News, Governor Palacios continues a pivot away from Chinese investment as he asks Congress for assistance. Also tonight, the world's largest dragons could soon go to the highest bidder. And a local diver goes deep, dark, and dangerous. Our profile tonight is something you won't want to miss. In sports, we got golf on our minds, and it's time to get into the swing. Stay with us. These stories and more are next.
What's the move? Kinda wild out. Catch a groove. She said, where you going? What's the move? Kinda wild out. Catch a groove. What's the move?
Labor Day, a time to celebrate and pay tribute to the contributions of each and every working individual in the CNMI and nationwide. Stay safe this Labor Day weekend. Don't drink and drive, and always designate a sober driver. Drink responsibly so we can celebrate you once more at next year's Labor Day picnic. Happy Labor Day, CNMI. We appreciate your service. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the CNMI Department of Public Safety.
Hello, welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order, please?
ご注文はお決まりですか?
The McNuggets of chicken.
I haven't had a Big Mac in a long time.
How many filet of fishes did you eat?
That's over several months, Ryan.
Quiero McFlurry.
In Puerto Rico, a McFlurry it's called a Señor Flurry.
2 golden menus.
Wonderful crew at McDonald's.
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 They're McDonald's. I'm McDowell's.
Are you gonna order something?
Governor Palacios submits both oral and written testimony to Congress about the influence of Chinese investment, recommendations to safeguard the CNMI, and a request for economic assistance.
It is in the interest of national and global security for the United States government to protect and fortify Pacific territories and allies in the freely associated states against the growing threat of Chinese Communist Party. America's security architecture in the Pacific is not only founded in military defense, but also in the pillars of economic, social, and political stability in the region.
Palacios says the CCP attempts to capitalize on vulnerabilities in Pacific Island communities.
Recognizing the strategic importance of America's territories and allies in Micronesia, the CCP moves aggressively to fill perceived voids in Americans' assistance and to capitalize on social and economic vulnerabilities of the Pacific Island communities. We see this aggression in massive investment in infrastructure and economic development. We see it in land grabs and fisheries expansion. We see it in unauthorized research vessels lurking around our undersea fiber optic cables. We see it in organized crimes, public corruption, and political interference. There is a strategic edge in all CCP's activities, and it destabilizes the island communities and cuts against America's influence and security in the region.
The governor gave a history of Chinese influence in the NMI, from garment factories to investment to tourism.
In the Northern Marianas, during times of economic hardships and vulnerability, we too have turned to Chinese investment for solutions. In fact, for almost 40 years now, the People's Republic of China have had a firm foothold in our islands. Chinese investors were always conveniently there when we needed them, offering new industries and revenue sources that directly or indirectly advance the interests of the PRC in the Marianas. From 1980s to early 2000, we had a garment industry primarily Chinese-owned, with more than 30 factories in the island of Saipan. Of course, there were many human rights and labor violations associated with the industry during those years. When the garment industry shut down, the Commonwealth lost a major source of revenue, and drastic austerity measures had a deeply destabilizing effect on our islands. To make up for the loss, we turned to Chinese tourism and also to Chinese casino gaming. Prior to COVID-19 pandemic, tourists from PRC comprised approximately 40% of all visitors arriving in the Marianas. The casino in Saipan had peaked billions of dollars in rolling chips, volumes generated in just 16 VIP tables. So for a brief period, Chinese tourism and gambling revenue propped up the Commonwealth government and the economy. But this was short-lived and had unfortunate consequences. Today, Chinese tourism dried up and the casino was shut down. The Commonwealth economy continues to struggle, and the government and our people are in deep fiscal distress. These are conditions that makes the Commonwealth, again, acutely vulnerable to CCP exploitation.
The governor closes by asking for financial assistance. The governor wants a repeal or delay of the touchback provision for the NMI worker program. Touchback is scheduled to begin next month and could significantly harm the NMI economy as workers are forced to leave en masse for an indefinite period of time. For Channel 2 News, this is Trey Youngdahl reporting. An emergency board meeting was held this afternoon on Capitol Hill by the Board of Education.
Everyone knows exactly what we're here for, and like I said, we are an emergency board meeting, and because of the fact that the items that we're going to discuss are primarily the position and individual that is the only employee of the Board of Education. So, of course, after consensus is made and discussion within the executive, then of course the general public will be aware as to what the outcome of our meeting is all about, and that's where it's at.
The board needs to find a commissioner. PSS started school on Tuesday, and its commissioner, Dr. Alfred Atta, resigned, citing health reasons. Atta took the job in December of 2019. The resignation will be effective in less than 2 weeks. The commissioner has been working from home this week and did not attend the meeting today. The board went into executive session to discuss the matter further. For Channel 2 News, this is Trey Youngdahl reporting.
A former director of operations at Imperial Pacific might know the answer to this all-important question from the Game of Thrones.
Where are my dragons?
Josh Gray is now technically the owner of these 2 dragons that are still in the lobby of the now-closed casino in western Garapan. IPI's former employee filed a discrimination suit against the company, and he was granted a judgment in excess of $5 million for back pay and punitive damages. He's now attempting to collect, and IPI hasn't come up with the cash, so Gray is going after company property. Earlier this month, Judge Mona Manglona ordered the court clerk to issue a writ of execution for the seizure of these crystal dragons, along with other IPI personal properties, specifically vehicles, liquor, computer, hardware, furniture, and equipment, and casino-related security equipment. On Monday, the U.S. Marshal served IPI with a seizure order for the dragons and the other property. Attorney Bruce Berline was present when the current head of IPI was served. The dragons still sit inside the closed casino, and they have quite a backstory. IPI paid millions for them. They wanted the biggest jewel in the world to suspend in the lobby of the Saipan Casino. In an area prone to frequent typhoons, they were also designed to withstand earthquakes. The dragons span over 60 meters, weigh close to 100,000 pounds, and have been designed with crystal drops, the ones normally used for earrings. To cover the dragons, more than 1 million women would have to take their earrings off, as there are more than 2.5 million Swarovski crystals. Each crystal is illuminated, meaning they can change color. The whiskers are up to 20 feet in length and were designed with tiny little scales. Dragon has over 300,000 LED chips, and it's actually one giant curved screen of 700 square meters. The installation took 6 months, with installers working inside, up, down, and around the Dragons. The Dragons had a brief reign.
Já můžu říct, že jsem nemohl mluvit, když jsem přišel do té místnosti. To musíte vidět, protože to se nedá popsat.
A one of a kind you won't see anywhere else in the world.
The Dragons may indeed soon be elsewhere in the world. At least that's what Gray and his legal team are hoping. Berline says they will hire a professional auction company who will assess market conditions and attempt to broker a deal to the highest bidder. It's not clear what the Dragons are currently worth on the open market. Whoever buys them is going to have to move them and design a space to house them. There is some thought they could end up in a place like Saudi Arabia. The story of the rise and fall of the Imperial Pacific Casino has in many ways played out like an episode of Game of Thrones.
Where are my dragons?
Chris Nelson for the Channel 2 News.
Save big on mobile and home internet with Link. Get a mobile plan with 40 gigabytes of LTE data and 30 Mbps down on home internet for as low as $95 a month. Better yet, bundle your services with any iPhone 14 series and receive a $50 credit, a SuperPod AX, and basic installation completely free. We'll also cover your first 2 months of home internet service for savings of over $500. Offer valid for a limited time, so Link, bundle, and save today. Docomo Pacific, better together.
Overcoming drug addiction was difficult, but I found a way to get my life back on track. Recognizing my addiction was the first step towards my recovery. But that is not always easy living in the CNMI. It was hard for me to avoid things that triggered my addiction. I needed to change my routine. There were some good days and some bad days, but with the love and support from my friends and family, I never gave up. I found my path, and I continue to walk it every day. Find the path that works for you.
This project was supported by a grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation. Contents are solely the responsibility of the CHCC and do not necessarily represent the official views of the CDC or the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Tee it up for tourism Labor Day weekend. No ifs, ands, or puts. Check out the Marianas Tourism Golf Classic on Saturday, September the 2nd, West Course. Lau Lau Bay Golf and Resort medal play format with 7 flights, cash, and amazing prizes. And best of all, proceeds benefit the Marianas Tourism Education Council and School My Wave clubs. Registration forms available at Lau Lau Bay MBA or on the Marianas calendar online. You can pay $120 or you can pay $140. So I know what you're thinking. I got some game. How do I get that $120 price? Well, you sign up before August 25th, and then you can use that extra $20 for some side action. May the course be with you.
One of the best addresses in Saipan has office space available now, right in the heart of things. The Marianas Business Plaza offers reasonable rates and can help build to suit your needs. You'll love the central location, just 15 minutes from the airport and 10 minutes from Garapan. Ample and covered parking keeps your vehicle close and protected. 2 restaurants for easy access, lunch, dinner and business meetings. Building security and 24-hour access to your office. Backup generators, so you can run your business in all weather. And 3 elevators mean easy and convenient access. It's the address in Saipan, the Marianas Business Plaza.
Get your goods here with care and attention with Micronesia Air Cargo Services. MAX is all about connections. Daily flights to and from Guam, 4 times a week to Rota, and biweekly flights to Tinian. We are connecting the Marianas. Perishable goods, Home Depot furniture and appliances, even live animals, operating since 2013. Check out our Thursday special to Rhoda from Guam and Saipan. Call Max at 670-288-6227. If it fits, we'll take it.
Power was out in Feeder 4 and Feeder 7 this afternoon. CUC said there was an explosion in one of the generators. No injuries were reported, but power cut to several areas, including Capitol Hill. As of late this afternoon, CUC said they were starting to get some areas back online. For Channel 2 News, this is Trey Youngdahl reporting.
The Department of Finance is still waiting on responses from a number of companies who received boost money but haven't complied with reporting obligations. Bank of Saipan was the former administrator of the boost program. The bank, which was also awarded its own boost grant, is not monitoring the companies that were awarded boost funds. They stepped out of that role in December, and that role has now been taken over by the Department of Finance, who recently asked companies for a progress report. Finance Secretary Tracy Narita said recently that of the 264 boost awards, 40 companies have not responded to a Finance Department inquiry into what they did with the funds. Are you aware of any criminal investigations that are being conducted around finance?
Yes. But I don't have enough information to disclose. I just know that there are ongoing investigations.
Narita says there have not been any sort of document raids. The requests and subpoenas come in through regular channels. When you said that you're aware of criminal investigations, which areas are they? Is the boost program being invested criminally?
I can't say specifically. It's what is the purpose. Usually the requests are very specific to certain businesses, to certain purchases. So I can only assume that it's related to some project or program, but that's just the nature of the requests.
The Boost program funneled about $17 million to local businesses, but many of the awards were questioned by a House investigative panel that found that the award decisions were made by just 3 individuals who didn't review the applications regularly, didn't have a scoring system in place, and didn't follow any sort of defensible rubric. The FBI raided the Bank of Saipan in December. If you saw Dee Tenorio hanging out with her daughter, you might start to think of warm, friendly Pacific Island stereotypes. Gentle soul, kind, generous, family-oriented. What you might not think is that if you needed a valve shut down on a pipeline in the middle of the ocean, that she's the right person to call. There's a lot going on below the surface that might surprise you. Dee works deep, often in cold, dark places where humans aren't really made to go.
Some we do, plug and abandonment to shut the entire system down, or sometimes we repair. But either one, it's fun. One is it's deep. 2, 0, the challenge of just diving in the Gulf is just crazy because you work blind.
Let's back up a little bit. It all started with a recreational dive class in warm, clear water offered through the Northern Marianas College. Dee Tenorio says she got interested in environmental issues working for the Tanapag Action Group. Her dad offered her a job in fighting for PCB cleanup, and I guess if it's family, you can pay less than minimum wage.
They couldn't really pay me to do the work that they need done. And I was like, okay, it's nonprofit, why not, But how much is it? And he's like, see, that's the thing. It's actually, we can only afford, whoever wants to do this is part-time, and we can only afford like $250 an hour. And I started laughing, and he's like, I know, but it's for a good cause. So he convinced me.
That experience led her to a non-point source pollution job with DEQ, and when they found out that she was a certified diver, they asked her to jump in.
From there, it just took off. Opportunities just kept coming. And then a year and a half later, I got another job offer, but this time to work in Guam, to be a environmental tech for the Division of Fish and Wildlife, but aquatics division.
Tenorio started learning a variety of skills below sea level, and it got her more and more interested in the marine ecosystem.
I knew that if I wanted to take this to another level, but I didn't know how.
Prior to the end of her contract, she was on a trip to California, and the next step presented itself.
I was in San Diego to see some friends, and I saw a commercial diving school, College of Oceaneering and Engineering, and it's about diving, and it's about doing this and doing that, and I'm like, I want to do that. So I just applied and registered myself, did everything, cut my trip short, went back to Guam, finished off my contract, which is the last 2 weeks, and packed up my stuff and split.
It was only her second time in the States.
It was a technical school for diving, commercial diving, and you get to learn all the physics and everything that you need to learn about diving. But this time it's commercial, where you get to go deep.
A year later, she graduated as a non-destructive inspector and commercial diver.
I thought it was like, all right, I got my cert. I'm a commercial diver now. Then I got to the real industry, which is I got hired on by CalPac, at the time it was the second largest company in the world for commercial diving, offshore diving.
She was hired as a tender. It's an apprenticeship, and that's where the real work started.
To break out as an actual commercial diver, it takes about 2.5 to 3 years, depending on how good you are.
When you're on the top, you're responsible for somebody that's on the bottom?
Yes, when we're on top side, I am responsible for the entire operation that goes on deck. Everything that goes down to the diver, it's lifeline, it's everything. Like we're practically like Home Depot as well to the divers on bottom, like anything they want. So in order for down and bottom to work, you gotta work with the team up top, because the team up top is your backbone to what's going on down there.
Every diver dives with a camera, and that helps the top side understand what's happening down below. Divers are frequently working with zero visibility, and projects are a team effort. It doesn't always work out.
Every single hose, every single connection you have there, there's pressure, massive pressure going through there, thousands of pressure. Could be air, could be hydraulic, could be anything. And if those connections burst out and you're not aware and you're just very complacent about everything, you can get hurt or killed. One of our guys that was off duty, and he was just passing through, but he didn't have his proper PPE on. And he was just passing through and one of our air hose ruptured and it snapped. And the head of our gross foot hit straight into the chest, died on the spot.
She says many of the tasks can be repetitive, but complacency is the enemy of safety.
So being a lead tender, you're pretty much the dive supervisor's eyes and motion on deck, because his full-on attention has to be on the diver to make sure that the diver has its air, make sure the diver has everything it needs, what he's doing is safe, and he comes back. Every single supervisor and every job that you're in, every single supervisor and superintendent, at the end of every project, all they want is to make sure that they have brought everybody back home the way they have taken them from home.
Are you fascinated by extreme habitats and unusual creatures? Think deeply about the Marianas Trench, and you'll fall deeply in love with this monument's plunging underwater landscape, which people call the Grand Canyon of the ocean. But it goes way deeper than that. Yes, our islands are home to the deepest waters on the planet. Here, underwater volcanoes bubble with mud, and yawning canyons host some of the world's strangest marine species. The Marianas Trench is about 1,500 miles long, over 40 miles wide, and 36,000 feet deep. The bottom is over 7 miles below the surface. That's about how high a commercial airline flies above the Earth. The pressure of the water is about 1,000 times greater down here than at sea level, and it's cold, just 1 or 2 degrees Celsius. And it's right in our backyard. What is it, though, and why is it there? It's part of a boundary between two tectonic plates, the Pacific Plate and the Philippine Plate. The Pacific Plate is older, cooler, and denser than the younger Philippine Plate, and has crustal material that is up to 170 million years old. The western edge of the Pacific Plate is subducted or thrust under the Philippine Plate. The movement of these two plates is the reason we have the Mariana Islands. Our volcanic islands are caused by flux melting of the upper mantle, due to the release of water that is trapped in minerals of the subducted portion of the Pacific Plate. In 2009, the Marianas Trench was established as a U.S. national monument. The presidential proclamation was made for the purpose of protecting objects of scientific interest, including things like submerged volcanoes, hydrothermal vents, and coral reef ecosystems. We currently know more about the surface of the moon than we do about the trench, but there are some exciting exploration expeditions that are essential to understanding and managing these deep water resources. In March of 2021, Nicole Yamase became the first Pacific Islander and the fourth woman to descend to the depths of Challenger Deep, the deepest part of the trench. The scientist grew up in Palau, Saipan Chuk, and Ponape, and is studying the effects of climate change. Yamase hopes her experience will inspire Pacific Islander women to pursue STEM and higher education. If I can do it, she said, they can do it too. So think deeply. Green sea turtles and hawksbill turtles call the Mariana Islands home. They are an important part of the marine ecosystem. They are under threat, and they are protected under CNMI law. Keep plastic out of the ocean. Keep vehicles off the beach. Use the Sea Turtle Stranding Hotline if you see poaching activities or if you see a turtle in trouble. Call 287-8537 and save a turtle. Location, location, location. Office space on Capitol Hill available now at the Hermosa Vista Business Park. With natural light and ocean views, it's the perfect place for creative professionals. So upgrade your life and your working environment. Schedule an exclusive showing now. Call us at 670-483-4750 or email hvsaipan@gmail.com.
Buenas sports fans.
Buenas sports fans, circle your calendar after you sign up for the first golf tournament in September. It's a tournament that helps provide funding for tourism education. Glenn Polycare is a good guy to have around in case of an emergency. He knows CPR, life-saving skills, and he can also cheer you up.
So MTEC, the Marianas Tourism Education Council, we're hosting the Marianas Tourism Golf Classic. It's going to be Saturday, September 2nd at Lau Lau Bay Golf Course. We're using the West Course this time around. 7 flights, so we've got Championship, A, B, C, Senior, Super Senior, and we have ladies signing up for the tournament as well.
MTech was founded in 2002 and helps get our youth involved in the NMI's #1 industry.
Our mission is to spread the word and educate all of the CNMI youth about the importance and how their role in tourism really plays an important part here in the CNMI. So we visit all the CNMI schools, Saipan, Tinian, and Rhoda, and we give presentations throughout the year to the MyWave clubs. MyWave is Marianas Youth. Welcome all visitors enthusiastically.
Most golfers have 2 handicaps, one for bragging, the other for betting. This tournament is old school, medal play, cash prizes for the winners, and handicaps do need to be submitted. Hole-in-one prizes include a car, $5,000 in cash, and a $10,000 shopping spree.
So many raffle prizes, hotel stays, room nights, golf. We've got golf certificates. We've got a drone from Jochen Superstore we're giving away. So some amazing prizes. We really want golfers to come out. I know it's a competitive format, but please, you're helping out tourism, you're helping out MTech, and you're helping out the kids at the MyWave clubs.
Hey, golfers, come north and practice your game at the Marianas Driving Range. New Year's local specials. 10-piece coupon books available for just $60. That's a $10 savings. Want to get really good? Come work on your swing every day for just $99 per month. It's our practice pass and you're going to love it. Grab your passes and go straight to the range. You can social distance and chip all at the same time, and the views are free. Reserve now at marianastrekking.com. You can pay online, open 7 days a week. Today, mostly cloudy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. West winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, highs around 87. Chance of showers 40%. Tonight, mostly cloudy, scattered showers and thunderstorms. West winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, lows around 79. Chance of showers 40%. Over the weekend, we're going to have west winds 15 to 20 miles per hour, highs around 85. Chance of showers 40%. Sunday night, mostly cloudy, 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms, lows in the upper 70s. Monday, can expect breezy conditions, cloudy with showers likely, and chance of thunderstorms, highs in the mid 80s. Chance of showers on Monday at 60%.